Hey everyone, this is Adam. Previously made a video talking about the first stage of my bottom surgeries, and in this video I'm going to talk about the second stage of my bottom surgeries. Um, so after my first surgery, I was told that I would be getting the second one 6 months later, and basically I ended up waiting about 10 months. I'm not really sure why. Yeah, they just get back to you whenever they've got a date. Their um, their notices are quite short. I mean, they tend to phone me and say, "Hey, we've got a surgery date in 2 weeks. Can you do it?" Or sometimes a week, and I'm like, "No, I can't. Like, I gotta give a notice to my job. I've gotta, prepare, book a place in London. A place in London and stuff like in transport and stuff. I mean, if I was living in London, I imagine it would have been easier, but because I'm in Scotland, it's sometimes hard. But I mean, I appreciate the fact that they call me, whenever they get a date. But anyway, yeah, I ended up just getting one 10 months later. And the surgery again was in London, but it was in a different hospital. It was more in central London than the other one. The other one was a bit far out. It was in Slough, but this one was a bit central. Can't really remember the name of the hospital, but it was definitely very close to central London. It was a private hospital. It was quite nice. I was asked to arrive on the night before surgery around 6 p.m. But again, I arrived about 8 p.m. because I don't really see the point of arriving too early. Um, yeah, so just they do all their tests and preparation for the surgery. To talk to you about any expectations, answer any questions you have, all this kind of thing. And the second day, someone got me up about 6:30 in the morning, I think. They asked me to shower again, put this cream on my nostrils, hair, and my groin, and it's kind of like to prevent infections or something like that, just in case you've got one, or just had like just picked up bacteria on the day before the surgery and something, and they couldn't treat it, or something like that. You need to put the cream on. And yeah, so around, I would say around 8 a.m. I was, yeah, the surgeon came in my room. And I mean, if you remember from the first video, my surgeon was Dr. Nem Christopher. That was the only surgeon I've seen. I think they've got three surgeons there in the London team, but the only surgeon I saw was Dr. Nem Christopher. And we communicate everything with each other, everything that he was doing and everything that I wanted. We just had really good communication. I personally like Dr. Nem very much. Um, but yeah, on the day of the surgery at 8 a.m., a surgeon comes in and it wasn't Dr. Nem. I think his name was Dr. Ralph. Um, and yeah, basically I was very confused. I was like, where is, where is Dr. Nem? And he was like, oh, he was off. I can't quite remember if he was off on holiday or sickness. I can't really remember. I think it might have been sickness. But yeah, he said like, yeah, Dr. Christopher is off, and you were basically given this date because it was the first one available. If you wanted Dr. Nim, you would have waited a lot longer. But I mean, I was there on the day of the surgery wearing my surgery gown, ready to go. I wasn't about to say, oh no, I can't go through the surgery. So I just basically went with it. He seemed very nice, and I've heard lovely things about the London team, all of them, not just Dr. Nem Christopher. So I was like, yeah, it's probably gonna be just as good. And it was in a way, but yeah, he explained a few things. He explained that parts of the surgery would be done with other by other doctors, to get hysterectomy and stuff like that. Um, I signed the consent form, and yeah, he said like, yeah, you'll have your surgery very soon. Um, right, I just kind of assumed that everything that all the discussions I had with Dr. Nim was communicated with Dr. Ralph, but I discovered that I was wrong like a few weeks after my surgery. I discovered that that was not yeah, that wasn't a very cool thing, but I'll speak about that later. So yeah, communication in this hospital I wasn't really very pleased with because they woke me super early, and obviously I was fasting from midnight the day before because you need to fast at least like 10 hours before your surgery or something like that. So actually I was fasting from 11 p.m. or 10 p.m. can't remember, but it was around that time. And yeah, they kept saying your surgery's gonna be soon, your surgery's gonna be soon, and I ended up waiting until 10:30. I couldn't even fall back asleep because they kept saying it's going to be soon. And yeah, I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink water, I was just thirsty, tired, and miserable, and I'm just waiting around with not a lot to do, and it's just my surgery gown. I'm not really allowed to move or do anything because I just showered and I don't want to, I don't know, get dirty or anything. So that part I wasn't really happy with. But anyway, I mean, shit happens. Probably something happened. Anyway, so yeah, I went in about 10:30, and I think my surgery took about 5 or 6 hours. And again, I didn't need to shave anything before surgery. Everything was done when I was out. Um, yeah, I think the second stage, I actually was walked through this, the theater, where they perform surgery on you, which I haven't really seen before. They usually take you in a room, you know, put you off to sleep, and then they will take you to the room. But on that particular one, I was taken to the theater room where I've seen all the surgeons and seen like the surgery room, everything. I went on the bed and they were playing music and stuff. I was actually quite relaxed. Um, yeah, and I was again dozed off and woke up 5, 6 hours later. If you remember from the first video, I talked about this transitioning room. Well, again, I woke up in that one, but this time I don't really remember a lot about it. Don't remember much of what happened. My memory is quite vague when it comes to this part, and I'm guessing it's because I was quite sleepy still at this point. And I was moved to my room pretty much straight away, to be honest, because it wasn't as big as the first one. The first one they needed to connect me to so many things, but with the second one, there wasn't really much to do. They just took me to my room straight away. They didn't take me intensive room like the first time or anything like that. I was very, very, very tired, very sleepy, um, and I was in a lot of pain. And this time, unfortunately, I didn't have, remember the morphine that was connected through my arm, and every time like I had like a button and I would click it every minute to get morphine and it would dull my pain. Well, I didn't have that. It was painkillers like pills and liquid, oral liquid. Um, and I took yeah, I remember taking a few, and I was still in a lot I mean, an hour later I was still in a lot of pain. I was talking to the nurse. I was like, can you give me some more, because I feel really, really bad. Like, I'm in a lot of pain. I just, can I think mentally I couldn't handle the pain anymore. And she was like, I can't really give you any more. I've given you all that I can. This is a big surgery. You're expected to feel pain. And I did agree at the time, as a big surgery, and I'm expected to feel at least some pain. But now I kind of disagree because that didn't happen with my first surgery. I mean, I've had so little pain. I mean, if minus the pain I had in the transitioning room because of the bed, but I was so dolled up. I did not feel any pain for a long time, for days. I was quite happy. So that was a shock to me, to be feeling all this pain. And so no, I didn't really expect to have this pain. I mean, I understand it's a big surgery, but I also expected that I was gonna be on a lot of painkillers, morphine or whatever. I don't know. I just expected exactly what happened in the first surgery. Anyway, powered through the pain, fell asleep again. I was really, really tired. I think I tried to eat, but I couldn't. Didn't have a lot of appetite. The food in this hospital wasn't nice. Not wasn't as nice as the first hospital. It's the hospital in Slough. The food was amazing. Well, not amazing, but it was good quality. It was good. They had like reasonable veggie dishes. It was nice. But with this one, I personally don't like the fruit. So yeah, I don't think I've eaten a lot. I've had some fruit with me. I was prepared this time, so I had some fruit with me. I ate some fruit. eventually fell asleep, and I woke up the next day and prepared to leave. So you only get 2 nights. You spend 2 nights with your second surgery. Um, that is including the first night you arrived before your surgery. So you include that day. So I left the morning after my surgery, and because I live in Scotland, which is quite far away. Um, was quite far away by bus. It's not so far when you fly, but it's really quite a hassle to fly, especially if you're trying to do it on budget. If I wasn't doing it on budget, I don't think it would have been as much pain, but I was trying to do everything on budget, so yeah, I knew it was going to be a hassle. And I kind of just expected that leaving the day after my surgery was going to be too much for me, so I ended up booking a Airbnb room, and I stayed for a night. And I was right because I was shattered. I was really tired. I could hardly walk. I was very uncomfortable sitting down. I was just really miserable. I don't think it would have been a good idea to travel back home the day after my surgery. So yeah, thankfully I booked a room. It was fine. Sitting down was painful, and I would advise that you buy, a seating pillow, one of those pillows that made for to sit down, um, and use it for all of your bottom surgeries, because with all of them, sitting down was really uncomfortable, especially if you go in, you're taking transport for a long time. After your surgery, I would really suggest you buy a pillow. It would really save you some pain and discomfort. So yeah, I think that was I spent the day after my surgery. I tried to go to the bathroom, and again it was hard, but it wasn't as hard as the first surgery. I was given some relaxative from the hospital, and they've kind of worked a little bit. Um, and also to mention that I had a catheter in through the penis. Um, and I was expected to keep it for 3 weeks, and that was truly painful. It was truly painful. But I don't. So what I've done with my first video that I spoke for an hour, and I realized that is far too long for a YouTube video. So I'm going to half this video and stop talking here and just kind of start another one. But in the first video, I'm going to talk about what my surgery was actually, because for different surgeons, they take different steps. I have read from some folk that on the first stage, they had their phalloplasty and they had hysterectomy at the same time, and I didn't do that. I've read some other folk getting a phalloplasty and connecting their pee pipes to the new phallus, which I also didn't get that. My first surgery was purely taking a graft from my arm to form a phallus. That was it. I didn't have anything else. With my second surgery, I had um, I had well, basically hysterectomy and all of it. Like, I mean, all of it. I had removal of all my reproductive organs. I didn't want to keep anything at all. Had a vaginectomy. Had everything closed, everything removed. I didn't want anything. And obviously that's a personal choice, because some other people um, decide to keep some stuff. But for me, I just wanted to get rid of it all. And also in that surgery, I was getting my um, pee pipes, where you pee. I was getting that connected to the phallus, because before the second surgery, I was still peeing sitting down because it wasn't connected to the phallus. So that was getting connected to the phallus. So I was going to pee from the penis for the first time. I was also told by Dr. Christopher, like, very early on, that I was getting one testicle put in, but I didn't get that, and I'm guessing because it's a different doctor. Also, I was given the option of having my T penis tucked in or left out the way it was, and I asked to have it tucked in. And with my conversation with Dr. Christopher, he basically described his surgery techniques, and I quite liked what he was talking about. He said that he kind of removes it up, so it will be right underneath your phallus, but inside, not outside, inside. It will be right underneath, and that was our communications. But because my surgery was with Dr. Ralph, and none of this was communicated with him, he did it his own way, and he basically kind of left it where it was but tucked in, so it's left between the testicles now, which I am not really happy about, but it happened and I can't really change it. I mean, I can change it if I really, really want to, but to me right now it's not worth another surgery. Every surgery that I have done has taken a lot from my health, like a lot from my health, which is something I'm going to talk about later. So I don't feel compelled enough to kind of go through another surgery unless it really bothers me. But I will speak about that in the second video because I don't really want to get this one longer than it is. So yeah, see you next video.